And I am muted. Huh? What a start. I was muted. Don't worry about that, though. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. We are here to finally do a keep, sell, bench, or loan video. Which player should we be keeping in the starting lineup? Which player should we be selling? Which player should we be benching? And which player should we be loaning out? We'll be going through every single player, the ones who are currently here, the ones who are out on loan. Let me know how you feel about every single player. I've also put a poll on YouTube asking between Pepe, Tavares, and Lokonga, if you had to choose one to keep, which one would you choose to keep? Also, if you're watching on FB, let me know which ones would you keep between those three players. If you had to choose one, Pepe, Tavares, or Lokonga, the ones who are about to come back from loan, let me know. And hope you guys are well. Hopefully, you can hear me. And without wasting too much time, let's get straight into it. It's going to be a huge summer for us. Obviously, a lot of big deals expected, maybe coming in and coming out, going out as well. Already done a couple of videos about Odegaard and Saliba and all those players, in case you haven't checked them out. Ali says keep them. Onoka says Tana should loan. Well, we'll find out about every single player from each one of you. And let's get started with Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale first up. I mean, I think this is a very easy one. Since his first season, he was incredible. Second season, he was literally absolutely incredible as well. He recently just signed a new contract. And last season, he made so many world-class saves. He's actually been nominated. The Premier League has put out a list of the best saves this season, nominations, I think 8 saves, and Ramsdale is there twice. His save against Bournemouth and his save against Liverpool from Mohamed Salah. In the same game, he had a very, very good save against, I think it was Konate. Against Son away at Tottenham. He made so many incredible saves, Aaron Ramsdale. For me, as I said yesterday, in terms of shot stopping, I believe he's better than Alisson. Some people would say you're crazy, but that's what I believe. In terms of shot stopping, I think he's up there and he's absolutely incredible. He's been incredible for us. If it wasn't for him, one of those players like, if it wasn't for him, would have been out of the title race by February or March. But Ramsdale is always performing. He's good at kicking. The only thing that I need him to improve on is his penalty saves. I mean, he's faced, I think, 5 or 6 penalties this season. He didn't even get close to any of them. That's the only thing I need him to work on, Aaron Ramsdale. So that is an easy keep, unless a couple of you disagree. Is there any of you would entertain the thought of selling Ramsdale right now? So many teams are looking for goalkeepers. Chelsea are looking for a goalkeeper. They want to get rid of Mendy. They're not very sure about Kepa. They're looking for a goalkeeper. Tottenham are looking for a goalkeeper. Lloris has definitely gotten to his age now. I don't think they'll have him as the first choice goalkeeper next season. Man United are talking about bringing in competition for De Gea. So even if we were to sell Ramsdale and get into the market for a goalkeeper, it would be such stuff. Like, we don't need such stuff. We do not need to be looking for a goalkeeper right now. It would be so hard to try and get a goalkeeper, and all these other teams are also fighting for the same goalkeepers, the likes of Onana from Inter Milan, Mayan from AC Milan, all these goalkeepers that everyone wants. We are not in that position. We already have a good goalkeeper, and let's keep the good goalkeeper. So Aaron Ramsdale is an easy keep for sure. Matt Turner, I've been thinking about Matt Turner. We only saw him playing in the Europa League. There's a game we gave away a penalty, something away game. Was it Zurich or something? But he's a very good penalty shot stopper. Maybe he should be helping Ramsdale in terms of penalty saves. But again, right now, I'm not sure you should be looking for a goalkeeper. I know Noka said Tana should go out on loan, but right now I don't think you should be looking for a goalkeeper anyway. I think we're okay with the goalkeepers. There are other positions we should be sorting out, and goalkeeper is not one of them. So I'd also keep Matt Turner. He's okay to be a backup. I think he posted something on Twitter and Instagram yesterday, and he was like, he's really enjoyed his first year at Arsenal. He's been at a World Cup. He played well at a World Cup. He was in a title race with Arsenal. He played for us in the Europa League as well. So I think for him, he can also keep. I don't think I like bench. Let's say bench Turner, not keep his for starting lineup. So Turner, just bench him. I don't think he needs to be loaned out or to be sold at all. The third goalkeeper, Karl Hein, as well. We've not seen much of him apart from preseason, where he saved like 3 penalties in one game. He's a very good shot stopper from penalties as well. So what did I do with Karl Hein? I'd also just keep him. As I said, I don't think we need to be worried about goalkeepers. I think we need to be keeping all the goalkeepers we have. Let's not be looking for other goalkeepers. And we'll talk about another goalkeeper who's out on loan that I do not want to come back. That is one of the worst signings in Arsenal history. So for the goalkeepers, keep Ramsdale, bench Turner, and probably for Karl Hein, loan him out. Those are my three decisions on the goalkeepers. Cookie says Turner would keep because we need a good backup keeper, especially with Cups and Champions League. Ramsdale has to stay. I'm doing good. Okay, and as Onoka said earlier, Turner should be loaned out. Interesting. And then get a second choice goalkeeper. What would you do, Onoka? Would you loan out Turn and then go and get another goalkeeper, or would you give the third choice goalkeeper a chance? Ali says keep them. So goalkeepers is a pretty easy one. That is a pretty easy one. You've guessed it. Definitely Rana, so we'll talk about him later. Let's go to the defenders. It gets interesting when you go to the defenders. Let's start with these three. Kieran Tierney is the first one. Obviously, most of us would want to keep him. I 100% want to keep Kieran Tierney. Bench. Let's say bench him, and start Zinchenko. That's still my choice. I would bench Kieran Tierney. I wouldn't sell him or loan him out. But the issue with someone like Tierney is does he want to stay? You don't really want to keep a player who does not want to stay. That's the problem. He's a very, very good backup for Zinchenko, and he can even start a few other games. You know what is weird about Tierney? I believe like if he didn't get injured, we never even have signed Zinchenko. And less than a year ago, we were talking about Tierney becoming Arsenal captain, and right now we are talking about getting rid of him. You know, that's how crazy it is. That's how highly he was ranked in terms of Arsenal players. We were talking about him being captain. We were talking about him being the best left back in England alongside Robertson. That's how highly we used to think of him. I remember a couple of seasons ago where he would actually help us by himself. He would go and score a goal up front, to go and get 2 assists. It's very good in terms of attacking and crossing the ball. But the way we are going to play next season and the rest of the seasons with an inverted fullback, he's not going to fit there. Like, especially if we get someone like a Cancelo, Zinchenko and Cancelo, the way they play, I don't think Tierney can play like that, like going into midfield. Tierney is only going to play on the sidelines. And I don't mind that. I actually want that. I want Zinchenko who can play as a midfielder as well. And I want a Tierney who can bomb forward on the flanks. I want 2 different fullbacks in the team. But will he stay? I don't think so. But should I keep him? Yes, I would bench him. I would not loan him out or sell him. I would bench Tierney. What a player. And it would be unfortunate if he goes. If we sell him, I don't want anything like 15 million. You know, every time Arsenal has sold players the last 10 years, we sell them for so cheap. So for Kieran Tierney, I'd want like 40 million at least for Kieran Tierney. He was one of the best left backs the last 4 years. So I would bench Tierney. Next up is Ben White. That is very easy. I've actually seen some people entertaining the thought of selling Ben White. Like, why would you sell Ben White? Like, can you tell me, as I said yesterday when we were doing the player ratings, do you know he's the only defender in the Arsenal team who did not make a mistake last season? Everyone else gave away a goal. Tomiyasu gave away a goal at Man City. Gabriel gave away a goal against Fulham. Zinchenko gave away a goal against Aston Villa. Saliba gave away a couple of penalties. Ben White is the only player who did not give away a goal last season. So he also played all 38 games. He was a centre-back who ended up playing as a right-back for us when he needed him the most. Because if Ben White could not play in that position, I don't know what would have happened last season. Would we have kept Bellerin at Arsenal? Oh, goodness, God forbid. You see, it would have been a huge problem if we didn't have Ben White in the team. So Ben White is an easy keep, absolutely easy keep. For me, he's one of my best players. I actually put him in my top 5 Arsenal players from last season, so I definitely keep him. Gabriel, again, very, very easy. I understand that he has a very, very good relationship with Saliba. Something that we didn't know, I hear that they don't actually talk in English on the pitch. They talk in French. So he gets along with Saliba very, very well. And I wouldn't want to break that relationship. I think Gabriel and Saliba would absolutely help us together next season. And also Ben White is a centre-back sometimes in the Champions League. That all help us. And if we need to play a back 5 or a back 3, however you want to call it, you can play all 3 of them, Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White, depending on which team we are playing. Because next season in the Champions League, we are in pot 2, so we could end up in the same group with Bayern Munich or PSG or Barcelona. Whichever way you're going to look at it, there could be a situation where we play Bayern Munich on a Wednesday and then Man City on a Sunday. You have to be really good defensively, so I don't want us to be losing our best defenders. And Gabriel, on top of that, not only defending, Gabriel is really good in terms of attacking. Like how many goals? I think he's the top scoring defender. Like if you put the last 2 seasons together, the previous season you had like 5 goals. He was the top scoring defender. And even this past season, he scored home and away against Fulham. He scored a winning goal away at Chelsea. So it's very, very good in terms of attacking as well, Gabriel. So absolutely no problem with him. 100% keep in the starting lineup. 100% keep Ben White in the starting lineup. And Tierney, I would bench him. I would not sell any of them at all. The next 3, Saliba, Kivior, and Holding. Now, this is going to get interesting. Let me know. Just comment the name of the player and then let me know keep, sell, or bench, or loan. Just comment the name of the player and then keep, sell, loan, bench, or keep, bench, loan, or sell. Yeah, whichever order you want to make it so that I know which player you're talking about. So William Saliba, I've just done a video about him. Make sure to check it out after this. We are having a bit of trouble with his contract. I'm hearing his representatives and his agents, they're asking for a lot of money and a lot of like clauses in the deal and something. So there's a possibility he might not sign a new deal. And that would be devastating, as I said on the video. If someone like a Saliba ended up leaving Arsenal right now, I would cry, because did you see how much we fell off after he got injured? He got injured against Sporting. We ended up losing that game. He conceded 4 goals against Man City, 3 goals against Southampton, 2 goals against West Ham, 2 goals against Liverpool, 3 goals against Brighton. Our defense fell off completely. Like I think half of the goals that we conceded in the Premier League were in April and May, after conceding like 20-something between August and summer, like March. The rest of April and May considered like a 16, 17 goals. That is absolutely terrible. So you have to keep Saliba in the team. You have to start to keep him for sure. You have to start him next season 100%. Hopefully he recovers through the preseason and we can have him back next season. What an impact he's had for Arsenal, because it's one of the reasons why we were up there fighting for the title. Kivior is an interesting one. Now, I know Arsenal fans and some football fans watch a player for 2-3 games and they're like, nah, sell him. I don't think we've seen Kivior enough to say like sell him or start him for sure next season. I still need to see more. Now, next season we have a lot of competitions. Okay, not that I want him to start for us in the Champions League or anything, but those Carabao Cup games early on in the season, and you have a Champions League game the following week, I want him to start in such kind of a game. Other cup competitions like FA Cup, I don't want us to be eliminated in those competitions quite early like we did the past couple of seasons. Is he good enough to start? I don't think we've seen enough of him to guarantee him to start or even to come in for someone like a Gabriel. I'm happy that we've seen him play next to Gabriel. So this thing about this player cannot play on the left side because he's right-footed, or Kivior cannot play on the right side because he's left-footed. At least we've seen Kivior playing on the right side next to Gabriel, and it has worked out. It's a game that he played really well, apart from the Wolves one, which he scored his first Arsenal goal. There's another one he played well. I've forgotten it, but there's another game Kivior played totally okay. So I'm okay with him being on the bench. So I would bench Kivior. Next up is Rob Holding. This is an easy one. I've already seen a lot of you saying it. This is an easy one. I think this time, by the time we get to January transfer window, I don't think we'll have any Arsene Wenger players in the team. Xhaka will probably leave. That's an Arsene Wenger player. El Neni is an Arsene Wenger player. Nketiah is an Arsene Wenger player. And Holding is an Arsene Wenger player as well. I think by the time next 1 year, I don't think we'll have any Arsene Wenger players remaining. And Holding, the thing with Holding, do I have a lot of memories where I'll remember and be like, wow, Holding was really incredible for us this game or this season? A couple. I'll never forget that he helped us win the 2017 FA Cup. I'll never forget that. He was very good in terms of that. He helped us win that trophy. Did he play with, was it Mertesacker? Was Mertesacker there, right? It was Holding and Mertesacker. He helped us beat Chelsea that had just won the Premier League season title that year, and no one expected us to win the FA Cup that season against Chelsea, who were champions with Conte. But since then, let's be honest, he's never really been a regular for Arsenal. And every time Arsenal fans see him in the lineup, is, oh my goodness, Rob Holding is starting, we're in a lot of trouble. I don't think we need that. We're in a position now where most Arsenal fans trust most Arsenal players, from the forward players, from the defenders. Everyone likes Gabriel, or 90% of people like Gabriel. Probably 100% like Saliba. Let's say 80% like Ben White. Most of us are sure about the defenders. I don't think anyone has a problem with Ramsdale, but Holding, I think a lot of people have a problem with him, and I'm one of them. Like against Haaland, oh my goodness. He played against Haaland twice this season. In the FA Cup game and in the last game we played against Man City. The FA Cup game, he was absolutely torn apart. Like he could not handle someone like a Haaland. Now, let's get this right. Not everyone can handle not everyone can handle Haaland in the Premier League or even in the Champions League. But even the other players, Holding would always struggle. I don't think he has enough pace. He's been on the bench for so long, so sometimes he comes in very rusty and everything. So I think it's time to get rid of such kind of a player. And I already feel like we have enough full centre backs for next season. Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba, Kiwior, and also Tomiyasu, when he's fit, he can play there. So I don't think we'll really need Holding. And even if he stays, some people would say he can stay because of the leadership and the experience that he's been at Arsenal for so long. But no, I don't even think he'd want to stay. He might just want to stay on the bench, but I don't want us to have players who are just going to be on the bench and never play. I now want us to have a team like Man City where we have everyone who can play. Like whichever player who can come on from the bench, we are happy with. We don't want those kind of players where you're like, no, I'm not sure about this. Oh my goodness, this one has gotten injured. Now we have to bring on Rob Holding. No, thank you for your service. Thank you for your goal against Man City. Thank you for your performance in the FA Cup, helping us win it. But I think it's time to go, and we'll never forget, Rob Holding only cost, the saying. So thank you, Rob Holding, for your service, but I think it's time to sell. When is his contract expiring, actually? I'm not sure when his contract is expiring. He gets 40,000 a week, June 2024. So his contract is expiring next year. So I think it's time to sell him. I don't think we're going to get a lot of money for him. Literally, we can only get like 2 million for him or 3 million. If it can add to whatever we're trying to do, let's just get rid of him. So Holding, sell. Thank you for your service. So William Saliba, definitely keep your bench. Holding, sell. I will talk about the loan players later. Tomiyasu. This is an interesting one. What would you guys do with Tomiyasu? He's had a couple of seasons where he's been injured at a crucial time for us. Would you sell him? Would you try and get money for him and trying to get another player like him? Or would you just bench him? Or would you even start him next and hope he'll be back? Now, two seasons with injuries is not even 2 seasons. Like he's been injured like 4 or 5 separate times, and that is always a worry. He's not a definite starter for us. So maybe if he can come in the tough games, like the Liverpool away, the PSG Bayern Munich away, still feel he can help us in those kind of games. We saw how he did against Salah when he played Liverpool at home last year, back in October. He marked out Salah from the game. So we know he can do that in a game. And he can play on the right side, he can play on the left side, and he can play as a center back. He can play in a back 3, can play in a back 4. That is why I'm always thinking, like, you cannot get rid of Tomiyasu, because he gives you so much. In the tougher games, he can play in a lot of positions. He can mark out a player from the game. But the injuries is always a worry. What did I do with him? I'd keep him. I'd bench him. Bench him for next season. Hopefully he stays fit until January. But if we start the next season and Tomiyasu is out again for like 3 months, or he misses like 80% of the season again, and he only plays like 3 or 4 games, then when he gets the January transfer window, we can start looking to get rid of him and getting someone less, like a Fresneda from Spain or something like that. But for now, I would bench Tomiyasu. I still believe he's going to be a crucial player for us in the big games. He's not going to be starting, but in the bigger games, when you're switching to a back 5 or something, I think Tomiyasu would do the job for you. He's not a bad player. If some of you are saying sell, I'm sure you're saying sell not because he's a bad player, because of the injuries. So that is why I would bench him. I'd not sell him. Zinchenko, I don't agree with most people saying Zinchenko, terrible defender, get rid. No, it's just because he lost Trent Alexander-Arnold against Liverpool and maybe a couple of other games. But if you look at 80% of the season, Zinchenko is really good in terms of a forward player. If you're to bring a person who'd never watched football before, and you ask him which position Zinchenko plays, they'd probably tell you a midfielder because of how well he was playing in that role. He was getting assists in midfield. He was those passes to Odegaard, to Saka. He's very good at that. Those passes in between the defensive midfielders. I remember the way he brought us back into the game against Aston Villa, literally all by himself. Such kind of performances he can give to you. And also we know his experience and his winning of Premier League titles and all that. We need that kind of energy in the team. And I know people have mocked the way the players gather in a circle whenever we score a goal or whenever we concede a goal. But Zinchenko is always the one talking in such situations alongside Xhaka. So you cannot get rid of Xhaka and also get rid of Zinchenko. Zinchenko is a vocal player. He loves talking in the dressing room and all that. He has experience from Man City. So Zinchenko is a definite keeper, definitely keeping him a starting lineup. Obviously, I want him to improve in a couple of things like one-on-one defending sometimes. But things like headers and all those, he's not that bad. He actually won like 60-70% of his headers last season. So that is not bad at all. Zinchenko, keep. So let's recap those defenders once again. Tierney, bench. Ben White, keep. Gabriel, keep. Saliba, keep. Kivio, bench. Holding, sell. Tomiyasu, bench. Zinchenko, keep for sure. Midfielders is going to be get interesting. Thomas Partey. I have seen people entertaining the thought of selling Partey. I've actually heard that if we get rid of 5-6 players, Thomas Partey could be one of them. So that could be very, very interesting if we got rid of Thomas Partey. But if you get rid of Thomas Partey, right now I feel like we need 2 midfielders. If you get rid of Thomas Partey, you need 3 midfielders because you cannot get rid of Partey and Xhaka in the same season and get 2 midfields. I mean, you can replace Xhaka with Rice. Yes, you can replace Partey with Caicedo, but you still needed another midfield on the bench to come in for those ones that are starting. So Partey could be that player. He could be starting, and I feel like he's going to play a huge role next season. When, again, if you're playing those big games, if you need to play a 4-2-3-1 or something like that, Thomas Partey, and you can see where a situation where you can play Declan Rice and Thomas Partey together in midfield in a 2. That could work out perfect. You can have Thomas Partey and Jorginho together. You can have Thomas Partey and Caicedo, whoever you're going to sign. You can have them together in a 4-2-3-1, and that's going to work out. I believe he played really well for us this season, and he was able to stay fit. Thomas Partey only got injured once this season, so I am glad the injury-prone thing kind of disappeared this season. But as I said in the reviews, the player that I was most disappointed with in April and May was Thomas Partey, because games like West Ham, giving away the ball inside situations, I feel like he's the one I'm really disappointed in because I was really expecting more from him. So Thomas Partey really disappointed me. But in terms of selling, I'd not really sell him. How old is Thomas Partey? Is it 30 or 31? Let me know if you know his age. I mean, let me confirm when his contract is ending. His contract is ending in 2025. So 2 years still to go in his contract. He gets 200,000 a week. So that's a lot of money that he gets per week, Thomas Partey. But I feel like we can get at least 1 more year from him. If you are to sell him, I mean, in terms of value, where we can get money from, Thomas Partey is one of those players we can get money from because he still has 2 years on his contract and he's still a very good player. But as I said, I want us to add Thomas Partey. I don't want us to replace Thomas Partey. Unless you're getting Rice, Caicedo and Gundogan, that's the only way you can get rid of both Xhaka and Partey. Remember, for 70% of the season, Odegaard, Xhaka, and Partey were the best midfield in the Premier League. All 3 of them. They were all like doing all the right things. Xhaka was scoring goals, getting assists, not getting yellow cards. He was the most improved player in the team. Odegaard assists, goals, a very, very good flashy player who does all the great things in the final third. And Thomas Partey was handling the midfield well. Like, that is why we beat Liverpool at home. That is why we beat Tottenham at home. That's why we went to Chelsea and won before the World Cup. Like, all those big games that we won before the World Cup, it's because of such kind of players. And as well, he also scored big goals against Nottingham, against Tottenham as well. So he's a very, very good player. I was disappointed with how he ended the season, but I would keep him. Bukayo Saka, should we even talk about this one? This is very easy. Keep Bukayo Saka 100%. He played all 38 games for us. Only 4 players did that last season: Ramsdale, Ben White, Gabriel, and Saka. So defenders and goalkeepers, it's sometimes easy to play all 38 games. But when it comes to wingers and forward players and number 10s, it is very hard for them to play all 38 games. So for Bukayo Saka to do that, applause for him. And he also signed a new contract, so I don't think there's any need of talking about him. What a player. He got double figures in terms of goals and assists. Also kind of drifted off at the end of the season, but Bukayo Saka is absolutely amazing for us. Been our best player for the last 3 years, let's be honest. If it wasn't for him, I don't know where Arsenal would have been, like 2020, 2021, 2022 there, if it wasn't for him and Smith Rowe. So Bukayo Saka, keep. Martin Odegaard, keep. But for Martin Odegaard, you know what, with Martin Odegaard, I have actually had some fans saying Odegaard is not good enough, sell him. Like, everyone has their opinions, yes, but if you're the opinion that Odegaard should be sold, that is a stupid opinion. That is not about everyone having their own opinion. If you think Odegaard should be sold, that is a stupid opinion, let's be honest. Like, there's no way you can sit down and tell me, out of all those Arsenal players you've looked at, Odegaard should be sold. That is a stupid opinion. I'm going to repeat it for that time. So Martin Odegaard definitely has to stay. 15 goals this season, the assists as well. Did he make mistakes? Yes. I am not forgetting that he gave away the goal against Man City. I'm not forgetting that he gave away a goal against Nottingham. I'm not forgetting that he missed almost a wide open goal away at Aston Villa. I'm not forgetting all those things, but how many good things did he do? Away from home, I think he was our best player in the away games. Away at Bournemouth, away at Tottenham, he absolutely turned up. Away at Brighton, the pass he gave to Martinelli, he was absolutely incredible for us last season, Martin Odegaard. So this is one player that we do not need to even think of replacing. He has been linked to PSG though, so make sure you check out that video that I've just done. If he goes to someone like a PSG, I would be devastated, man. If PSG want Odegaard, maybe give us Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar, and then I still wouldn't be sure. I'd consider it if you give us all three of them. I would consider it, but I'd still not get rid of him. Keep Mbappe. Maybe you know what? Maybe give us money plus Mbappe, and then I'd give you Odegaard. How about that? Are you ready to do that, PSG? I don't think so. See you in the Champions League next season, guys. Next up, Odegaard is an easy keep for sure. Hopefully everyone in the chat has said keep. Next up is Emil Smith Rowe. This is an interesting one because he's been in the market or in the news, but Arsenal do not want to sell him. But does Glenn want to sell him? Absolutely not. Smith Rowe, I would bench him. I think he's going to play a huge role next season. The kind of football that is being played in the modern era, back in the day, you could have Ashley Cole, who could only play as a left back. He doesn't need to play as a right back. You could only have Gary Neville, who can only play as a right back. No problem at all. These days, your players need to play like 2-3 different roles in the team. That is why people like Ben White and Tomiyasu are very important in this team. Even players like Saka. Saka can probably play as a goalkeeper if he wanted. Ramsdale can probably play as a number 10 in terms of passing and as a defensive midfielder with the passes if he wanted. So someone like a Smith Rowe is going to help you in the Martinelli role on the left side. He's going to come in for Odegaard when he needs to rest. He's going to come in for Xhaka. Maybe he can even play in the Xhaka role if Xhaka leaves. Maybe he can even end up starting. So Smith Rowe is still very young. Let's not forget last season, 2021, 2022, the previous season before this one that has just ended, he was one of our best players. He scored more than 10 goals in the Premier League. And back 2-3 years ago, him and Saka pretty much saved Arsenal in the December of 2020. They saved Arsenal when they came on in that game against Chelsea. And also, on top of that, Smith Rowe, still very young. And even if you're going to sell him right now, we are not going to get the 60 million or 50 million we'd want to get. A team would offer something silly like 20-25 million. You'd not want to get rid of Smith Rowe for 20-25 million. And again, people are entertaining the thought of selling him, not because he's a bad player, but because of the injuries. So it's not because he's a bad player. So 100% I would bench him. I can see him playing a huge role for us. Remember, he was our second top scorer 2 seasons ago. We still managed to score 88 goals without our second top scorer from the previous season. So imagine if Smith Rowe was there. We'd probably have scored against Everton, probably have scored against teams like Nottingham if we had the options of bringing in these players to replace Odegaard if he's tired, Partey if he's tired, Xhaka when he's tired. So we definitely missed Smith Rowe in terms of bench options. There's a couple of times this season we looked at our bench, and there's a time we even had a 15-year-old on the bench because players like Smith Rowe were injured. So what other impact would we have seen if people like Smith Rowe are fit? So Smith Rowe bench, I would not sell him at all. Jorginho is an interesting one. He was coming to help us win the title. Obviously, we didn't achieve that, but I think he played okay. A lot of you expected Jorginho to be a disaster. But if we were being honest, between January and May, Did Jorginho play better than players like Partey? You can actually argue so, especially in April and May. You can actually say Jorginho played better than Partey. So that's one point. And I didn't feel like he made any mistake at all. The people who always say Jorginho is slow, you cannot play him in such kind of a game, Yes, maybe you cannot play him away at Man City when De Bruyne is running there. But I think games like Chelsea, he played well. He was up against players like N'Golo Conte. He played well there as well. So his passing ability as well is very, very good. We saw him putting some really good passes against Aston Villa, against Chelsea in that game as well. And his goal, I'm still going to call it his goal. I know it was not his goal, but the strike against Aston Villa, I'll never forget it. One of our biggest goals this season, alongside the Nelson one and the Nketiah one. So it's good to have such kind of players making an impact. So Jorginho, I would bench him. I would not sell him. I'd bench him, at least keep him for one more season. When is his contract ending, Jorginho? Is it like 1 year? I think he has like 1 year remaining, I think, right? He signed like 2 years or something like that. I'm not sure about him, but I would bench him. I would not sell him or anything like that. I would bench Jorginho. I still feel like he can make a big impact to help Partey rest sometimes, and hopefully Declan Rice. I'm already counting Declan Rice as an Arsenal player. Fabio Vieira. First of all, as I said in the ratings video, we need to give him, get him a gym membership. We need to pay a lot of money for him to get into the nearest gym. We need him to go to the gym like 3 times a day. When we signed him from FC Porto, he was one of the best players there. So he's not a terrible player. He was one of the best players when we signed him from there. And we signed him for 42 or something. I think 42 or 43 million. That's because he was a good player at that time. 42 million, if you splash 42 million for a player, it's going to work out. Now, I'm usually careful about rating a player or just getting rid of a player after one season. Because I remember very well when Odegaard came on a loan deal, when he went back to Real Madrid, people are like, nah, we don't need him. Just let him go, blah, blah, blah. You saw what he did when he came back, and people are already like, nah, he cannot play the English game. Look at Odegaard now. Same with Kiwior. You never know. Second season could be better. So Vieira, if he comes good, yes, I know he didn't have a good season. I actually rated him like 5 out of 10 or something. I think that's the lowest I gave any player in the team. He was not good. Sometimes he really did not impress me, but we could see some quality sometimes. Against Brentford away from home, his goal, absolutely fantastic. In a couple of Europa League games, we saw his qualities. Most of the time, it was disappointing. Yes, I agree. The physicality does not have it. Sometimes he's putting in crosses from corners and free kicks, but are really disappointing. But we also have to take into consideration, when he joined us in June, he was injured when he joined us. He did not play in June. He did not play in July when Arsenal were in the USA playing against the likes of Chelsea. He did not play any preseason games. And even when the season started, he was out. He did not play the first few games of the season. So let's see how he does in this preseason. Hopefully he steps up. And also, I also look at characters of players. I also look at players who get along with the majority of the players, and him getting along with Martinelli. If he leaves, Martinelli would be devastated. Let's keep Martinelli happy as well. So keep Vieira to keep Martinelli happy. Fabio Vieira, I'd bench him. Let's give him another season and see what he does. You cannot get rid of a player who you signed for 42 million. And even if you are, how much are we going to get for him? You're going to go on a loss. So just bench him. Mohamed Elneny. I love him. I love him as a person, as a character. Absolutely amazing. We'll probably not forget him as a character. But if you're being honest, in the next 10 years, when you're telling your kids about Arsenal, would you really mention Elneny in the 20, 30 players you're going to talk about? I don't think so. He's very capable of scoring a banger 1-2 times in a season. But quality-wise, where we are heading, the kind of players we're looking for, especially in midfield, a midfielder who can tackle, a midfielder who can intercept, a midfielder who can pass the ball, a midfielder who's comfortable enough to come and collect the ball from the goalkeeper, a midfielder who's comfortable enough to take the ball from the defenders as well. A midfielder who doesn't just have to pass the ball when they get it because they are scared of running with it. No, we need a midfielder who can pass the ball. If there's no pass available, we need a midfielder who can run with the ball. I am literally talking about Declan Rice. Please, Arsenal, just sign Declan Rice. If you think Declan Rice is overrated, you need to watch him more. Elneny is not that kind of player. He's going to tackle for you. You're going to bring him on in the last 5 minutes. He's not going to be sad about it. He's a very good character in the dressing room. You saw the other day, Xhaka scored a goal. He went on to hug him because he's that kind of a player. He's a very good character in the team. But apart from that, are we really going to depend on Elneny to change the game for us from the bench? If Partey is out or Declan Rice is out, are you going to play Elneny against Man City away? Are you going to play El Neni in the Champions League against Dortmund and Barcelona? You're not going to do it. So El Neni, thank you for everything. He's been a very, very good servant of Arsenal. He also signed a new contract not that long ago, actually. I think he might have like 1 year remaining on his contract or something like that. But to be honest, Mohamed El Neni, thank you for your service, but I would sell him. Granit Xhaka, I would bench him, but obviously we know he's going to leave, unfortunately. I'm happy that he's going to leave Arsenal as with a good season. He's ended his Arsenal career with a good season, with a Man of the Match award against Wolves, so that is great. So I'm really happy with how he's ended his Arsenal career. If it was up to me, I really feel like midfield is very important for us, and he's had such an incredible season. 7 goals, 7 assists. He's improved in his discipline. I would not start him next season, but I'd have him on the bench to come on in a few games. If you're to keep him, I'd be happy. If you're going to sell him, I'm hoping we get at least 20-25 million. I don't want something like 15 million that I've been seeing in the news. If you get 15 million for Xhaka, that would be disappointing. But then again, as I said, Arsene Wenger players, I cannot see Arsene Wenger players being here in the next 1 year. And that applies to Holding, applies to Xhaka, applies to El Neni, applies to Nketiah, applies to Nelson. Those players who were here back in the Wenger days. So that is slightly problematic. But Xhaka would bench him, but I think he's going to go. So let's do a recap on the midfielders. Thomas Partey, keep. Saka 100% keep. Odegaard 100% keep. Smith Rowe bench. Jorginho bench. Fabio Vieira bench. El Neni, sell. Xhaka bench, though he's going to leave. Forward players, Gabriel Jesus. I think he scored 11 goals and something like 7 assists, and that is despite missing like 3 months of the season. He's not like Osimhen or people like that who used to score a bunch of goals like the likes of Shearer. No, but he gives you extra, like in terms of coming back to midfield and collecting the ball and getting involved in duels with the midfielders, spreading the ball to Martinelli and to Saka and to Trossard. That he has a very good relationship with all those players. And I feel like Odegaard's game and Martinelli's game and Saka's game have all also improved because of Jesus, especially Martinelli's. Like the game against Liverpool away from Anfield, that first half, Martinelli and Jesus were untouchable. I remember Bournemouth away, Odegaard and Jesus, absolutely untouchable. Like in a game like Bournemouth away, if you go and rewatch the highlights, the goal that Odegaard scored against Bournemouth, Jesus did not get the goal or the assist, but he made that goal. He pretty much came and collected the ball, ran past 2-3 players, gave the ball to Martinelli. Martinelli shot, Odegaard scored from the rebound. So Jesus gives you a lot of that. And also just like Zinchenko experience, he's going to give you that. He's won the Premier League a lot of times before, and hopefully can stay fit next season. But he definitely needs help. Whichever striker we are going to get, whether you're going to get a backup striker who's tall and physical and can hold up the ball, or if you're going to get someone who's going to get you 20, 30 goals in a season, whichever way, Jesus is a definite keep. Martinelli, he's just signed a new contract. He was asking for the pen to sign a new contract. He's Arsenal through and through since he came here from Brazil. I think he equaled the record of the most goals scored by a Brazilian in a Premier League season. Firmino, who did it a couple of seasons ago, 15 goals, assists this season, incredible. And even when everyone else was playing poorly, Martinelli was still playing well. The games against, especially Liverpool away, as I've said, Crystal Palace at home, Leicester at home, those kind of games, Martinelli was incredible. And he scored one of the most cheeky goals I've seen from Arsenal. The goal against Aston Villa where Martinez had left his line. I'll never forget Martinelli celebrating before he even scored the goal. So Gabriel Martinelli, that is an easy keep. Nketiah, this one is hard. I even literally have to drink water before I talk about Nketiah, because I know a lot of people will disagree, and a lot of people will disagree on different options and opinions, but Eddie Nketiah, I mean, he's definitely not a starter for us, so we know that. So the keep option of him starting the game is not there. So that one is already out. Would he really want to go out on loan? I don't think so. Was he bad when he came on for us? No. I think when he came on, when Jesus was injured, 70% of the time he was great. Scored one of the goals that we celebrated the most this season. That goal against Man United in the last minute, fantastic. That game for him was brilliant. Even Man United fans were shocked to see Nketiah scoring 2 goals against them and making all the right decisions. And those 2 goals against Man United, it was all about his positioning. And positioning is very important for a striker as well. You need to know when you're going to go for a header, when you're going to wait for a cutback, when you're going to go in front of the defender. We saw him going in front of Wan-Bissaka in that game. We saw him picking up a position behind the defenders for the second goal against Man United. So we saw that against West Ham at home, the game that we played right after the World Cup. He scored a very good goal in that game as well, where he just turned the defender and scored. He used the defender to block the goalkeeper and scored the goal. Fantastic. But again, as always, Nketiah usually divides opinion, because you look at a game like Aston Villa away where we won 4-2, and Nketiah had like 2 one-on-one chances, and there's one that he put over the bar, and I was really disgusted about that chance. And again, the way he divides opinions, every time he starts a game, you'll hear people saying, "Why are you talking about Nketiah? He's played well. He should be starting." Some people will say, "No, Nketiah is not good enough." All that talk, I don't feel like we need it at Arsenal. In the next, especially 1 year, I don't think we need those kind of players at Arsenal. We need players who everyone pretty much loves. It's impossible, but what would I do in Nketiah? I'd not keep him in terms of starting lineup. Selling. I know some of you would say sell, but how much are we going to get for him? He signed a new contract recently. When is his contract expiring? He signed a long contract, right? We even gave him the number 14. So there's that. I can't see when his contract is ending, but maybe I'm guessing 2025 or something. Let's see. Because he signed a new contract. He's only on, I think it's less than 100,000 a week. So he's not really costing us much. So on Nketiah, I'd bench him. I'd bench Nketiah, mostly also because he's done okay when he comes on, more okay than bad. And also cup competitions, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Nketiah is usually very good. And he scored like 15 goals this season. So he's not a totally bad player, but I would not start him. No, so I'd bench him. Cup competitions and all that, let's see how he impacts. Because, the other thing as well, why I'm not keen on getting rid of attacking midfielders and getting rid of strikers and getting rid of goalkeepers is because I feel like we really need to sort out the midfield first, and I don't want us to start looking for a striker because 2 strikers after. Because if you get rid of Nketiah, you're looking at 2 strikers. Unless we bring back Balogun. Again, another thing that it depends on: are we going to bring back Balogun? If Balogun is in the team, then maybe you can consider loaning out Nketiah or selling him. But for now, I would bench him. So Jesus, keep Martinelli, keep Nketiah, bench. Trossard, very easy. Keep, very, very easy. The kind of impact he had for us when he signed for us in January. Oh my goodness. Assists. He had like a game with 3 assists. He had a game with 2 assists. Absolutely incredible. He did not score a goal, but impact-wise, he was very good. He had to play for us on the left side. He had to play for us on the right side. He had to play for us as a striker. So Trossard, very, very easy. Keep one of those players that kept us in the title race like until April and May because of the impact he had. So, you know what? I'm looking at this team and I'm actually kind of happy. I actually disagree with this tactical. I come to your comments. Back 2-3 years ago, you'd look at this squad and you'd be like, sell, loan, sell. We had like 10 to 15 players who would sell. In this team right now, maybe 4 or 5. It's not that many. Reiss Nelson is contract discussions are going on. Again, just like Nketiah, maybe even more than Nketiah. Nelson did not play a lot this season, but every time he came on, impact. Bournemouth winning goal, Nottingham Forest, I think 2 goals and like 2 assists in that game, incredible. And even when we came back against Southampton, Nelson came on and helped us get a 3-3 from that game. So I'm really, really happy with Nelson's impact from the bench. Cup competition and all that, I think he can make an impact. And you need a squad. You need a squad, 25, 26 players to compete against Man City. So Nelson, I would bench. So let's recap these forward players. Jesus, keep. Martinelli, keep. Nketiah, bench. Trossard, keep. Nelson, bench. How many players have I said sell so far or loan? Elneny, I've said sell. Who else? I think I've said holding, sell as well. So I've only said 2 players sell so far. Okay, interesting. So that shows you that, yes, I believe in most of these players more than I used to believe in the players who were here 2-3 years ago. But the next category of the players who are out on loan, we are going to get to the players we are going to keep and sell. We're going to talk about a lot of them. So let me take a few of your comments. Tactical says Eddie shouldn't have gotten a new deal. I mean, at that time, Tactical, you remember he had very good performances against especially Chelsea. So that is why we gave him the new contract. Maybe you can say maybe that was the time you could have had a chance of selling him because his value had increased. Personally, 2 years ago, if you had to ask me this question even 1 year ago, I'd say Nketiah sell and Nelson sell. Like I was one of those people who had already like given up on them because I was like, they've really stayed there for a long time. Nelson, Nketiah. So I usually put these players in the same category: Nelson, Nketiah, Maitland-Niles, Smith Rowe. And I felt like Smith Rowe, especially after last season, he had taken his game to the next level. Martinelli has also come from a different country and he's totally past these other players who are here from Haaland. And then Nketiah obviously had a good end to last season, and then kind of still he divides a lot of opinion. So I was like, no, sell him, sell Nelson, sell Niles. Especially Niles. Niles was the first player I would have sold, followed by Nketiah, followed by Nelson. As of now, I think he came on and scored like 15 goals. I'd bench him. Unless you tell me you're bringing back Balogun and you get enough money for Nketiah, then I would consider it. Trusted and Nelson keep says Cookie for sure. Chol says, why are we not interested in Harry Kane? Harry Kane can never join Arsenal, man. Tottenham, Arsenal, just forget about it. It's never going to happen. How many players have played for both Arsenal and Tottenham? Is it just like William Gallas or something? I don't think there's many. And going directly from Tottenham to Arsenal, it's not going to happen, Joel. That one, definitely forget about it. Harry Kane is not going to leave Arsenal for Tottenham for either Arsenal or Chelsea. The only team he can join is Liverpool or Man United, because if he goes to Arsenal, he'll be hated by Tottenham fans. Like, yes, he used to be an Arsenal academy player and everything. He used to wear Arsenal shirts, Arsenal fan and everything. But forget about it. And also on top of that, Harry Kane would cost you 120 million. That is the money we need to be getting for midfielders, not a striker. I want to get a midfielder, 2 midfielders for that kind of money, not striker. Again, I don't think striker is our biggest problem. We scored 88 goals this season. That is the most we've scored in the 31 years the Premier League has existed. So our strikers is not our problem. Do I want a striker? Yes. Do I want a striker fast? No, I want midfielders fast. So those are the reasons why I'm not interested in Harry Kane. It's a waste of time. He'll never. That is like saying Saka from Arsenal to Tottenham. That is never going to happen. I think Nketiah stays and we loan Balogun for Premier League experience. If Balogun does bad, we sell Balogun, keep Nketiah. If Balogun does hold, we sell Nketiah and Balogun for 24-25 million. I think we can, do you mean 24-25 season or 24-25 million? If it's 24-25 million, I think that's less. But if you mean 24-25 season, I definitely keep him for that as well. Sell Nketiah and keep Jesus and Martinelli. So David is for the sell Nketiah option, and then keep Jesus and Martinelli. Let's see. Keep Smith Rowe, Jorginho, and loan Vieira. Good luck in the Champions League. Very interesting. Yeah, going to be very interesting to see which players I pick in the fantasy for Arsenal. Mr. Glenn, where have you been? I have been around. I'm always here, Alex. Nice seeing you again. Let's go back to the top. Lama says sell Holding, Lokonga, Niles, Nketiah, Elneny, keep Smith Rowe, Tierney, and Xhaka, says Lama. You see that Holding guy, please, he should be sold out of football. Praise is not praising Holding at all. He's for the sell right away. Sell Holding, says Joseph. Sell Holding, says David, keep Saliba and bench Kivior. I agree with that. Gabriel has to stay, of course. I think we need a defender, but only a backup. Ben White has improved, says Dominic. Ben White, I still think Ben White had a good debut season, because I know people said Ben White did not have a good season in 21-22. I still think he had a good season even then as a centre-back. I think we should keep them and then release Rob Holding. I don't think you're going to get a lot of money for Rob Holding anyway. Angora, thank you for watching from Seychelles. I know who you mean by worst signings. Glenn Rannason out. Speaking of Rannason, let's go to the players who are out on loan, because that is where it's getting interesting. Ebro says Harry Kane is old. I don't think Harry Kane is old. He's 30 years, but I think Harry Kane is going to catch up with Shearer. If he stays in the Premier League, he's going to be the highest scoring Premier League player of all time. And I absolutely respect him, because I think if he wasn't at Tottenham would be a championship team. So he's the only Tottenham player that I'm like, this one is really, really good. Okay, maybe apart from Son, but Harry Kane is like this is a very, very good striker. And I don't think he's old. He scored 30 goals, if it wasn't for Haaland. He only scored like 5-6 goals less than Haaland. So he's a very good striker. And he's also very good at penalties, maybe unless he's playing against France in the World Cup. Long-term contract should be given to Nketiah. Long-term contract. Okay, that's a new one. That's a new one. I didn't think anyone was going to say that. Tottenham captain had no trophies, came to Arsenal and won the league at White Hart Lane. That would be absolutely special. Let's talk about the players who are out on loan, because this is where it gets very interesting. Let's go to the loan players. Who are we starting with? Oh, okay. Ranason, Okonkwo, and Cedric. We've gotten to the part where we're going to do a lot more sell and loan more than more keep and bench. Alex Ranason, goodness me. I don't think it's his fault. I think in terms of worst signings that Arsenal has ever made, I think Ranason is in the top 3. I think worst signings, Ranason, and he only played like 2 or 3 games for Arsenal. But the 2 or 3 games he played, I did not see a positive. For a goalkeeper, you can look at a goalkeeper and you're like, okay, this goalkeeper is great at collecting the balls from corners and free kicks. Or you can say this goalkeeper is good from passing from the back. Or this goalkeeper is good at shot stopping. Or this goalkeeper is a good leader, is going to arrange his defense well and all that. I don't think Ranason had any of those, For De Gea, I can tell you De Gea needs to improve on his kicking. Everything else is okay. I can tell you Ramsdale should improve on his penalties. That's it. I can tell you maybe Pickford, a couple of mistakes. If he gets rid of it, is going to be good, and he can stay in as an England goalkeeper, even though I still think Ramsdale should be England's goalkeeper. All that. But for Ranason, how long do we have for him to improve 6 or 7 different abilities or part of his game? Absolutely difficult. And he's not a youngster. I think Ranason is like, can someone check for me? I think Ranason is like 27 or 28. He's not a youngster. He was an international goalkeeper and he was joining us. So, and we signed him for like 1 million or 2 million. So you literally get what you pay for. If you sign a player for 1 million, 2 million, that is exactly what you get. A Ranason. One of the worst signings in Arsenal history. Ranason, you don't even need to come back. We'll send your stuff from London. Wherever you are, we'll send you your stuff with cargo. You don't need to come and collect your stuff. We'll send your stuff with cargo and you can get it there. So Ranason, thank you for your 2-3 games, but memories I choose to forget. Next up is Arthur Okonkwo. We've not seen enough of him. I've watched him in the under-23s games a couple of times. So I'd say loan him out. Cedric. Cedric was he like, I think he was the first player to be signed by Arteta, right? Him and Pablo Mari just before COVID. So the first season, I think Cedric had a decent first season. I don't agree with people who said Cedric had a terrible first season. Even the second season, I think half of it was okay. But as of now, because someone in the chat said Harry Kane is old. What about Cedric? Now, that is why you can use that term. He gets rid of him right away. I don't even think we need to speak of him. Age is not on his side. Is he a good? Let me tell you something about Cedric. He's a very good, person in the dressing room. From what I've heard from all these players, the likes of especially the Portuguese players or the Brazilian players who speak Portuguese, he's very important. Fabio Vieira said it, how much Cedric has helped him adapt to England because of language barrier and everything, how welcoming he is, how he can let you stay in his house and all that. He's a very good player. He's going to be a coach. He's one of those players who's definitely going to be a coach, Cedric. He's very good. Even team talks, he does some of them and all that. But not as a player, buddy. You can go and become a manager and then you can come and help Arteta later on, but not as a player. If you want to coach, you can come later on as a as a coach, but not as a player. So Cedric, that is easy. Sell. Ranason, sell. Okonkwo, loan. Cedric, sell. Next up, this is again gets very interesting. Tavares, Pablo Mari, and Austin Trustee. Nuno Tavares. I really want to know what you guys would do with Nuno Tavares. Tavares came to Arsenal as a backup for Tierney. He was never supposed to start games for Arsenal. He only ended up starting so many games because Tierney was injured for almost half of the season. Now, did we see some good things from him? Yes. Going forward, He was going forward a lot sometimes. He was really explosive in terms of a fullback. He was really explosive. He'd get a ball and run past 2-3 players. That is a good thing. Sometimes his shots were really annoying. I remember his shots, he used to shoot a lot of balls off target. I don't like that. And he'd do it like 3 or 4 times in a game. I feel like we threw him to the deep end very early on. I don't think he was supposed to play that many games in his first season. And there's another player we're going to talk about as well who did that. He was not supposed to play that many games. But then again, you kind of need to be ready. He went to Marseille and did very well in the back five. He did very, very well in the back five. And he's one of those players, I think we had a lot of those players who really depended on formation. Kolasinac, I'm sorry for reminding you guys of Kolasinac. Kolasinac is not a back four defender. He's a back five defender. He can play for you as a left wing back and he can play well going forward. Hector Bellerin, I don't think is a good back four defender. I think he can play for you as a right wing back or in the back five. Maitland-Niles is not a back four defender. We saw him playing really well on the left side of a back five in the FA Cup and helped us win that competition. And this is another player that we had who also depends on that formation. Tavares in a back five. If you have Gabriel, Ben White, Saliba, and then Tomias on the right side or whoever else we are signing, and then you play Tavares as a fullback, no problem. But then we saw a lot of bad from him because like against Salah at Anfield, we gave him Salah at Anfield, like mark him in a back four. No, I'll never forget that game. That is one of the games that I said, all you guys know how much I support Arteta, but that is one of those games I was like, no. You cannot put Tavares up against Salah. All by himself, that is suicidal. We had to play a back five that day, not last season, the previous season where we went to Liverpool and they beat us. Was it 3-1 or 4-1? That season, you cannot play Tavares up against Salah. You have to put someone else there. I think Tierney should have started in the back three that day, and then Tavares is the left wing back, and then you have Tierney and Tavares playing against Salah. So we are not going to be playing a back five. You're going to be playing a back four. Tavares has played well at Marseille. So again, let me check his contract. When is his contract ending? How much can we get for him if you're going to sell him? No, Tavares. His contract is expiring in 2025. He's getting only 27,000 a week, so very, very cheap. Nuno Tavares, he's very young as well, so I would not sell him, but I'd also not keep him. Remember Saliba? Saliba went to France, 1 good season, 2 good seasons, 3 good seasons. Can we see the same from Tavares? Hopefully. Tavares, I'd keep him out on loan. Same team, Marseille or a different team in France. Take another loan, Tavares. Let's see more. And then if you have another good season, then maybe you can come back. But if you still don't play well or all that, then we can sell him. If a team also depends if Marseille want to buy him right now and how much they're offering. But for now, Tavares, I'd loan him out once again. Pablo Mari, his team has actually done well. I think he plays for Monza. They've done very well for a newly promoted team, and I think he's one of the reasons. So he's improved. So since he's improved, I'm not going to keep him. I'm going to hopefully ask for more money for him. Can we get like 15 million for him? Let's hope so. So I don't think we're going to get that. I think we're only going to get like 5-6 million. So Pablo Mari, sell, unfortunately. Again, just like Tierney being the best left back in a couple of years ago and right now being sold, there's a time we were comparing Pablo Mari and Gabriel. We are actually saying who should play between Gabriel and Pablo Mari. Right now, you cannot ask that question, really. Gabriel is miles ahead. So Pablo Mari, I'd sell. I'd definitely sell Pablo Mari. Thank you for your service. Enjoy your time in Italy. Monza, just give us 10 million and you can have him. Austin Trustee is doing well at Birmingham. I'd keep him out again on another loan. There's a game I watched for Birmingham which he scored a goal during the regular season. So I'd loan him out again. I'd not bring him back. I wouldn't loan him out because he scored a goal. No, I'd loan him out because I still think we need to see more. So Tavares, loan. Pablo Mari, sell. Austin Trustee, loan. Look at this. Look at the next 3 players. This is going to get even more interesting. Maitland-Niles, Lokonga, and Pepe. Maitland-Niles. I've already discussed him in this stream. Maitland-Niles, to be honest, remember it was back in 2020. We won the FA Cup. Maitland-Niles played really, really well for us. I'll never forget. Maitland-Niles, Kieran Tierney, Aubameyang, thank you. You helped us win that FA Cup in 2020. I'll not forget you guys. But Nathan Niles, remember after that, Wolves were giving us 25 million for Niles. And I was like, yeah, sell him right away. He stayed. And then the moment he stayed, his value dropped from that 25 million to like free, zero. And he's gone to West Brom. He got relegated. He went to Southampton. He got relegated. Not his fault, but I don't think he really did anything to help the situation. I won't remember the exact game, but there's a game that Southampton played recently. The last 3-4 games they played in the season, there's a game he played awful. And I went to the comment section of Southampton's Twitter and Facebook, and people are like, why did you even get this player? Get rid of him. He's absolutely terrible. And they were even asking the same question we have been asking ourselves for the last 4 years. They were asking themselves, where does Maitland-Niles play? You know what? We also don't know. And he's been here for like 6 years. Is he a midfielder? Is he a left wing back? Is he a right back? Does he want to play in a Partey role, in a Xhaka role? Does he want to go forward more? No one knows. Which position does he play? No one knows. And he's been here for such a long time. Now, I'm not sure about this, and I don't want to put judgment on his name, but he's one of those players that I feel, unfortunately, he joined Arsenal 2-3 years and he got comfortable. I've graduated from the academy. I'm now playing for Arsenal. Look at me. Look at my cars. Look at my Ferrari. Look at my bank account. Millions on millions on millions. You know, look at me playing alongside this killer strikers like Lacazette and Aubameyang. That was back in 2019, not now. Not right now, Aubameyang. No. Back in the day, like all of them were very, very good. So I feel like he got comfortable. Like I'm at Arsenal, I'm getting paid this kind of money. The other youngsters who came after him, Martinelli came like 3 years after him. Like, do you know how far Martinelli has overtaken Niles? By far. Even Reece Nelson, I think they came at the same time, overtook him. Bukayo Saka came to Arsenal from the academy way after Niles. He overtook him. Smith Rowe came from the academy almost a year after Niles, overtook Niles. So the youngsters who came after Niles, they all overtook him. And we should have sold him in 2020 anyway. And he's gone out on loan at West Brom and Southampton, and both of them don't know which position he plays in. We still don't know that question. Again, we can't sell him, by the way. He's going out on a free. His deal, I'm pretty sure, expires this month. Let me confirm that. Yes, his contract is expiring. You know when? His contract is expiring tomorrow. Tomorrow, June 1st. That's when his contract is expiring. Niles, we are doing this stream on 31st of May. Thank you for your service at Arsenal. Oh, by the way, thank you for your penalties. Your penalties are really, really cheeky. You cheeky boy with your penalties. His penalties against Liverpool in the Community Shield, against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. Oh, he's one of the best penalty takers in the world, by the way, Maitland-Niles. He does not fear. Whenever he's going to take a penalty, he has no fear at all. He is the most cool player you'll ever have to take penalties. Can we get Niles to sign a contract where you're going to get paid £500 per week, and then you take all Arsenal penalties? Since we're in the Champions League and in the Carabao Cup and in the FA Cup, we'll probably get to a lot of penalties. We're also probably going to play against Man City in the Community Shield in August, so we're probably going to get penalties somewhere. So, we didn't have Niles against Sporting, Maybe Martinelli wouldn't have taken that penalty against Sporting. Maybe it would have been Maitland-Niles, and he would have been in the Europa League quarterfinals. So, Maitland-Niles, the only way you can stay if you get you a £500 weekly deal where you take all Arsenal's penalties. That is it. But apart from that, thank you for the penalties and thank you for the FA Cup win in 2020. But it's time to say goodbye, Maitland-Niles. Sell for sure. Albert Sambi Lokonga. We signed Albert Sambi Lokonga as a captain. He was the captain of his team, and he was very young. He was a leader in his team. Just like Tavares, I'm going to echo a couple of things I said about Tavares with Lokonga. I also think we threw Lokonga to the deep end very, very early. Just like Tierney getting injured and Tavares having to come on, Lokonga, I do not think Lokonga is a number 6. So playing him in a number 6 role all by himself away to Liverpool, that is suicidal again. We played against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup last season semi-final, and we played Lokonga. I think Xhaka got a red card, right? And Partey got a red card in the next game. And we had to play Lokonga in a couple of games. And Partey also went to the African Cup, and we had to play Lokonga. That was terrible. Playing Lokonga as a number 6 does not work at all. It does not work. So that was suicidal for his career. The only way Lokonga can play for you in that position is if you're playing a 4-2-3-1. So you have Partey next to Lokonga, or you have Rice next to Lokonga, or something like that. But Lokonga by himself, the number 6 position for me, it's the most important position in the pitch. That is a player who's going to protect the defense. That is a player who's going to collect the ball from the defense and spread it to the forward players. That is a player who's going to mark out the number 10 position. The number 10 players are the best players in the world, the likes of De Bruyne. You have to have a player there who's going to mark that kind of a player, and Lokonga cannot do that for you. We threw him to the deep end, and that is because Partey was injured for half of the season before last. So Lokonga, when we played preseason, this last preseason last year, June and July, Lokonga scored a lot of goals and assists. When we played against Brentford in a preseason game, I think we played against MK Dons, if I'm not wrong, Chelsea in the USA. Lokonga scored, I think, in all of those games, and that is when he was playing in the Xhaka role, the number 8 position. So if he's playing in that position, that is fine. Or if he's playing as a number 6 in a 4-2-3-1, but not Lokonga by himself. So what did I do with him? This is very hard. Is it hard or is it easy? I'd not keep him. Definitely not a starting player. Crystal Palace, I've seen a bit here and there. So I feel for Lokonga, Lokonga needs another loan. So, because it wouldn't really make sense to just sell him. How much are we going to sell him for? Unless we go on a loss. His contract is running until 2026. He still has 3 years on his contract. That's a long time. So unless we need money from elsewhere, then we can like sell him. But how much are we going to get for him? So I would not keep him. I'd not bench him. I would get him another loan deal. So Lokonga loan, just like Tavares, loan them again. But if you are to ask me to mention 5, 6, 7 players who we are going to sell, it'd probably be on that list. So, but I'm not bringing him back for next season. Nicolas Pepe. This is a tricky one, guys. Nicolas Pepe. What are we going to do with Nicolas Pepe? What the hell are we going to do with Nicolas Pepe? Thank you for the super chat, Arke. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support as always. We'll be doing a lot of live streams and a lot of videos throughout. We've already started actually from yesterday. A lot of videos, a big transfer window for us. So any support is appreciated. Thank you, Arke. Nicolas Pepe. If Nicolas Pepe was good, if he was great, we would have been winning the Premier League title this past season. We would not be talking about Saka playing 38 games. Again, it depends on which Pepe we are getting. Are we getting the Pepe who can score 2 free kicks in a game like he did? Are we getting the Pepe who was performing well in games against Manchester United and Brighton and those kind of teams? Are we getting the Pepe that is going to frustrate you? The Pepe who cannot shoot the ball with his right foot. The Pepe who is very disappointing from crosses. The Pepe who's going to stay in the flanks and just keep on he can only use his left foot. Are we going to get that Pepe? It depends on which Pepe we are getting. And from what I'm hearing, I think Nice fans have not been happy with him. So, Nicolas Pepe. I'd sell him. I don't think it makes sense to loan him out again. It's either you keep him on the bench or you sell him. It's one of the two. So Nicolas Pepe, I'd sell him. I've actually heard rumors that we're not even going to sell him. We are going to cancel his contract. I've actually heard rumors of that. So I do not think Arteta rates him at all. In that position, now the kind of team we are building as well, we need everyone to be working. Martinelli, come back and work. Jesus, come back and work. Saka, you need to come back and help your right back. Pepe does not really do that, and that's an issue. He's a luxury player. He's a player who, like, if he was at Man City, he can be brought on for the last 20, 30 minutes and be like, oh, Man City bringing on a 72 million pound player from the bench. But starting, I'm not sure. And considering Nice fans have not been happy with him, and considering he's not really an Arteta type player, he's an Emre player. So again, in the next 2-3 years, I don't think we'll have. If Arteta is still here and we're still building in the next 1 year, let's say 18 months, I can't see a lot of Emre and Wenger players being here. And Tierney, he was signed by Emre, he's leaving. Pepe signed by Emre, he could be leaving. The likes of Torreira, all signed by Emre, they're no longer here. So I don't think we'll have too many Emre players as well. So Pepe, sell. How much are you going to get for him? I don't think you're going to get too much. Following Balogun, for Balogun, all three options open. I don't think he can start Premier League games for Arsenal. Is not yet there. Bench is an option. Loan him out again is an option. Sell him is an option only if you're going to get good money. But then again, I wouldn't sell him. Is he 21? I would not sell him now. Unless you're giving me 70 million, which you're not going to get, I'm not going to sell him. What I do with Balogun, again, it depends on which kind of strikers are we get. Are we going to get a striker? If you're not going to get a striker, then you have to bring back Balogun, especially for the cup competition. But as of now, I still feel like we need either a tall striker or a striker who's going to come and help out Jesus in the big games. And Balogun, I'll loan him. Where would I loan him? Either back to France where he enjoyed himself, or to a Premier League team. Maybe which Premier League teams? Where he would play, not a team like a Brighton. No, Brighton have too many options. I mean, their team, the likes of Enciso, Welbeck. No, not a team like Aston Villa. No, not a place where Watkins is already playing. Not this kind of teams. Which other team? West Ham. Maybe they could sell Ings and Antonio, maybe backup or something. And they're also in the conference. Maybe a team like that also has an extra competition. So what would I do with Balogun? I'd loan him out to a Premier League team. The teams that are coming back. I know the likes of Sheffield have strikers still, like Billy Sharp. I don't know if he's going to stay there, strikers like that. But I can see him doing very well in a team like Burnley. I can see Balogun doing very well in a team like Burnley. By the way, if you've not been watching Burnley, this is not the same Burnley from 2 years ago where they just score from free kicks and corners. No. This is a different Burnley. This is a Burnley that is actually playing good football under Vincent Kompany. So there's that. So I'd like to see him in a team like Burnley. If he's going to go to a team like that, perfect. Another loan deal in a Premier League team, that is fine. You don't even have to make it a 1-year deal or 2-year loan deal. You can even give them for 6 months and see him between now and January. It can also be for that option. But I would give him a full season at Burnley following Balogun. And then the next season, I'd bring him back. Marquinhos, I'd loan him out again. Maybe to a Luton or something. If Luton can take him, I'd be happy. But Marquinhos, loan him out. So let's recap the players who are out on loan. You see, we've gotten to a lot of sales and a lot of loans and all that from this category. Ranason, sell. Okonkwo, loan him out again. Cedric, sell. Tavares, loan him out again. Pablo Mari, sell. Austin Trusty, loan him out again. Maitland-Niles, sell, but he's leaving anyway on a free. His contract is expiring, so you're not going to get anything for him. Albert Sambi Lokonga, loan him out again. Pepe, sell. Balogun, loan him out again to a Premier League team. And Marquinhos, loan him out again. Now, if you are to push me and tell me, no, we cannot loan that many players. From these 11 players, we have to sell 5. I would sell Ranason. I'd sell Cedric. I'd sell Pablo Mari. I'd sell Maitland-Niles, and I'd sell Lokonga. If you're to push me to sell, I'd sell those ones. So this has been an interesting one. Now, yes, we still have players who need to leave. Now, you just imagine, you get rid of Elneny, you get rid of Lokonga, you're on loan or whatever, you get rid of Okonkwo, you get rid of Ranason, you get rid of Pablo Mari, you get rid of... I don't want to get rid of him, but when you sell Jacques and when you sell Tierney, and then you bring Rice and then you bring Cancelo, especially if you can get me Cancelo. Oh, goodness me. Imagine Cancelo and Rice. And I was dreaming about it yesterday, like Rice and Cancelo. If you can get me that, if you can get me those players, Stan Kroenke, if you can get me those players, Edu, I'd be really, really happy. So that is the list. I will come to your comments. Can I remember all of them top of the head? Ramsdale, keep. Turner, bench. Hein, bench or loan, whichever. Tierney, bench. Ben White, keep. Gabriel, keep. Saliba, keep. Kivio, bench, holding, sell. Tomiyasu, bench. Zinchenko, keep. Partey, keep. Saka, keep. Odegaard, keep. Smith Rowe, bench. Jorginho, bench. Fabio Vieira, bench. Elneny, sell. Xhaka will be sold, but I would bench him. Jesus, keep. Martinelli, keep. Nketiah, bench. Trossard, keep. Nelson, bench. Ranason, sell. Okonkwo, loan, but I'd be open for selling. Cedric, sell. Tavares, loan him out again. Pablo Mari sell, Trustee, loan him out again. Niles, let him go. Lokonga, another loan. Pepe, sell. Balogun, another loan to a Premier League team. And Marquinhos, another loan. Hopefully to a Premier League team if it's possible, but I wouldn't mind another Championship team if he stays at Norwich. So very, very interesting. We still have a lot of players. Hopefully this is a big transfer window. As you can see, we still have to get rid of plenty of players, so it's going to be very busy in terms of the transfer window. Cookie says Niles basically gone. Yep. Loan Lokonga again and Pepe either sell or just keep for depth just in case. He only has like 1-2 years to go, so I'll just sell him. We are linked to another player from Leeds. I've done a video on it. Make sure to check it out. We are linked to another winger from Leeds. So if you can get him, I don't think you can stay with players like Pepe. I've always had a soft spot for Ainsley, but he has to go, says Tactical. Interesting. I've never really had a soft spot for him, actually. Apart from the 2020 season. But after that, I was always open for selling him. Holding, Cedric, Lokonga, Niles, all sell, says Stanislas. Stanislas is done with all of those players. David says sell Niles, sell Pepe, and bench Lokonga. Bench Lokonga, I still need other midfielders. My bench for midfielders next season would be Smith Rowe, Jorginho, potentially Partey or someone else that we sign. Those kind of players that we've, I believe, can come good next season. And players like Smith Rowe we've already seen doing good. Maybe if you're going to keep Xhaka, then such kind of players. But Lokonga, I think he needs another loan. Balogun loan to a Premier League club. Marquinhos loan to a Championship club again. Balogun to the bench. I will sell Nketiah instead. Understandable, David. Everton will need a striker who could do a job at Luton. Perhaps Everton is another team, by the way. Everton, they need a striker. Neil Mope, he deserved to be relegated. Neil Mope. He was not good at all. Let's be honest, at Everton, and Calvert-Lewin is always injured. So yes, I can see him probably doing a job for them. So good point, Cookie. Balogun to the bench. I read that one. Why do you want KT to be sold? I did not say that. But I said bench Kieran Tierney, but he's going to be sold. So doesn't really matter what I say. But if it was my option, I'd bench him. I'd not sell him. Not at all. I'm not going to sell Tierney. I would bench him. But he's going to leave. I don't think he's going to stay. Balogun, again, I did not say sell. And I said get him out on another loan deal to a Premier League team. I need a strong centre-back and a midfielder, says Nathy. I don't think centre-back is our biggest issue. I think we are doing well with Saliba. And I think Ben White can come back to centre-back next season, and then we can sort out our midfield. Listen, if you sort out our midfield first and then you have extra money, then yes, you can go and get in a centre-back. But I will do another video for which positions I want us to sort out first. And I do by spoiler alert, I don't think that position will be amongst the top. Sell all three. Why on earth at a signed trustee? I'll never know. The reason we signed trustee is because we are not going to sign anyone else in that transfer window. And it was let's keep Arsenal fans quiet kind of transfer, unfortunately, Tactical. But he's done okay at Birmingham. But future at Arsenal, I can't really see it. Guarantee if he stays, he'll never play and will run down his contract. Tavares has been good on loan, but I'd sell him. Tavares really depends on the formation we are playing, really. Tavares sell, Mai is basically gone, and Trustee out loan again. Long-term, I read that long-term contract from Nketiah. This is interesting, Bill. Yeah, so Nketiah really divides opinion. As you saw, David had said get rid of Nketiah, but there's someone who says give Nketiah long contracts. So it's going to divide opinions a lot. Gracia says holding Elneny should be sold. Arteta should sign a long-term contract. Now, Frederick, that I agree with. That people will be like, why stay? I have no problem with that at all. And the likes of Tactical and Cookie know about that very, very well. He was decent the latter end of the season, but how many goals he got? 6. Xhaka and Elneny both going as well, I believe so. Saliba is reportedly stalling the deal. Yes, money. And I don't think it's him. I think it's his agents. And my fear is, there's a time I did not want him at Arsenal. So if these things blow out of proportion, you'll be like, yeah, just get rid of him. I'd not be surprised if Arteta says, nah, just go. Let's get someone else. But then again, imagine getting rid of Saliba, and then what? And then we start looking for another centre back again. No, I feel like those positions are okay. Ramsdale, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Zinchenko. I don't feel like we need to start looking for other players in those positions. Let's look for a replacement for Xhaka is leaving. Let's look for someone else to help in midfield. Let's look for someone to help Saka. Let's look for someone to help Jesus. So if you start selling someone like a Ramsdale right now and then you start looking for another goalkeeper, no. Let's see. So a lot of you are saying I think half of 67% are saying sell Nketiah. I've seen a lot of keep Tierney, so a lot of people want Tierney to stay. I think everyone has said sell Holding. I think everyone has said sell Cedric. I think half have said Lokonga go. Some have said loan deal, but I don't think anyone has said keep Lokonga, apart from one who has said bench. Niles sell says Stanislas too. So pretty interesting. But I've done a video on Odegaard and Saliba. Odegaard is being linked to the move away. If Odegaard left Arsenal in this transfer, and I'd literally just close this channel. If Odegaard leaves Arsenal, our captain, our best player from this season leaves Arsenal, I'd get sick. If Odegaard left Arsenal, I'd literally get physically sick. Please get Declan Rice, Cancelo, and Gundogan. That looks like a very good shopping list, Frederick. I'd really love that shopping list. That is a very good shopping list. And then on top of that, you add 2 players. Perfect. We need a right back, not a Shakhtar player. I need Cancelo in the team. I seriously need Cancelo in the team. I don't know how possible it is to get him because Man City might not want to sell him to us because now we are kind of their competition. But if you can get me Cancelo and Declan Rice, I'd be so happy. So happy. We need a new right back so we can move right back to center back as depth. I definitely agree. So if you can get Cancelo and then you have Zinchenko, you have Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel, Kivior, Saliba, I don't even think you need another defender. You can now start sorting out. And also, we've already started trying out Partey at right back. If Caicedo ends up joining, he can play as a right back. So I think there's plenty of options there. And there's also options that are still Arsenal players, like Tavares and Pablo Mari and Austin Trusty. I don't think they're going to be here next season, but if you have to get someone as an 8th, 9th choice, there's no problem with getting them in. Sell, Holding, keep Saliba. Says CK, keep Arteta till we can get Pep. I mean, I agree with that, David. Keep Arteta until we can get Pep as an assistant manager to Mikel Arteta. You know why Pep Guardiola won the manager of the season? Because he caught up with Mikel Arteta's team. It's not easy to catch Mikel Arteta's team at the top of the table. That is why Pep Guardiola got manager of the season, because he was up against Mikel Arteta. The Premier League, no. They know it is very hard to catch up with Mikel Arteta, and that is why they gave him manager of the season. That is why. Look at him. He's going to win us the Premier League title and the Champions League very soon. Look at him. Absolutely amazing. I'm happy with what he did this season. I still need him to improve on a couple of things next season, but that's another position that I do not have a problem with right now. Me, I'm looking at midfield. I'm looking at a couple of winger or striker or something like that. Yuri Tillemans also can be better for Arsenal. And Yuri Tillemans is going to be a free, so I don't mind a player like that. So as I said, if you get players like Rice, Cancelo, and then you can add the players who are going to be on a free, like Gundogan, Tillemans, one of them, I'd not mind it. Listen, I think it's very, very hard to get both Rice and Caicedo because you're not the only team looking at them. And I feel like if you get Rice, Caicedo will be like, why should I come to Arsenal if you already got Rice and Partey? Am I coming to sit on the bench? No, I'm just going to go to Manchester United. I'm going to go to Chelsea. There's a possibility. But I think it's definitely possible to get 2 out of 4. So it's possible to get a Caicedo and a Gundogan because Gundogan is going to be free. It's possible to get a Rice and Tillemans because Tillemans is going to be free. It's possible to whichever combination, but Rice and Caicedo and then Tillemans and Gundogan because Tillemans and Gundogan are free, and these ones are the other ones are going to cost a lot of money. You can get one from each. That would be good. Good enough. But some people actually still want like Rice, Caicedo, and Gundogan. I don't think it's possible to get all 3 though. Unless we are just going to deal with the midfield and not get any strikers or anything like that. To all out people out there, Real Madrid are considering getting him, says all that needs to be said. I don't think that is our biggest issue totally. I still see people saying get rid of Mikel Arteta. Like, why though? Like, I don't get it. Like, let's see how next season goes. But if you say Mikel Arteta out right now, and then what? You start looking for another manager, and then you start looking for, if you get a new manager today, the new manager would come and be like, this Gabriel guy, I don't like him. Get rid of Gabriel. Ramsdale, I don't like him. Why are we even playing a 4-3-3? I prefer back three. So bring back Tavares. We don't really need keep. Maybe they'll say keep Xhaka, or maybe they'll say Jesus not good enough. Let's go and get another. It's going to spoil everything. For us who've been here, we know which ones have worked and which ones have not worked. So we know Odegaard does not need a replacement. He was our best player, but you need someone to help him out when he's tired. We know that, okay, we need someone new to play in the Xhaka role. We know we need someone to help out Saliba. But a new manager would come and say, no, I love Rob Holding, keep him. Saliba, I don't need him, sell him. It will just like break down everything you've tried to be building, and you start building a whole new building. We're not ready for that right now. So I really don't want Gundogan. I get why. I mean, we're going to be like a Man City. Imagine if we get Cancelo and Gundogan, like all our players will be former Man City players. He's very good. He's very experienced in terms of clutch, especially in your last 3 months is going to help you out. But obviously age and all that is an issue. But I think there's a huge chance of him going to like a Barcelona or Real Madrid. So anyway, I don't think we are going to keep him. But we've been going for almost 1 hour, 30 minutes. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll be back tomorrow to do more transfer news. Thank you for watching, and all the support as always. This has been an interesting one. Thank you for watching, and catch up with you on the next one.